Hey everyone, Jen Cook here, and today we're going to talk about how to make a video/audio recording for a virtual chorus. We're going to go through the equipment you need and how to make the actual recording. So if you've never done this before, don't fret, we're going to get through it together and we're going to figure this out. So let's get started. Okay, let's talk about equipment. In order to make this recording, you're going to need at least two devices. One that you can play either a click track or a set of learning tracks, whatever you're singing along to, and the other to actually record you. So you can use a phone, you can use an iPad, you can use an iPod, you can use a desktop computer or a laptop computer, as long as one can play a set of tracks or a click track and one of those can actually do the recording for you. When I make recordings, I like to use my phone to make the actual recording and then listen to the tracks either on my desktop computer or on my iPad. But that's just personal preference, whatever works the best for you. You are also going to need a pair of earbuds that you usually will get with your iPod or something else. And mine look a little fancier, but just any set of earbuds will work just fine. And that's so when you record and you're listening to the click track or the learning tracks, you can hear it, but your recording device won't pick that up. Also, it would be helpful to have something to hold your recording device. So an iPad is going to just stand up by itself and you can record yourself on that. You can also use a tripod if you're using your phone. If you don't have a tripod, that's okay. You can use a music stand. You can prop something up on a table with some books, as long as it's something that will hold the recording device nice and steady. You can have another human being record you, but that person needs to have really steady hands and not shake around a lot. So I actually recommend using a tripod or propping it up or a music stand or something like that instead. All right, let's talk about how to make the recording. Now, as I said before, I like to use my phone to record, so I'm going to demonstrate that first, but there are other ways to make the recording. We'll talk about those as well. What I'm going to do is take my phone and I'm going to use my tripod. Now again, you don't have to use a tripod. You could use a music stand, prop something up with books. Just make sure whatever you're using is nice and steady. It'll stay in place for you. I'm going to put it here. Now I want you to notice that my phone is horizontal, not vertical. As you make recordings for the virtual choir, it's much easier to work with a horizontal recording as opposed to a vertical recording. So please record horizontally. So I'm going to go ahead and put the camera on my phone, and I'm going to use this to turn the camera around so it's facing me. When I'm making recordings, I prefer to see myself so I can know how much of the camera space I'm taking up, can make sure my face is where it's supposed to be, that I have good facial expressions, all that good stuff. So have the camera facing you. Also keep in mind, as you're making the recording, if I'm doing it back here, when we put the recordings together, they're going to be very small and we're not going to be able to see you really at all if you're recording far away from your device. So please get ready for it. Please make sure to be nice and close to your device so we can see your face and hear your lovely voice. All right, so I have my camera ready to go, and it's still on camera settings, so I need to put it on video. I have made that mistake before. So just make sure it's on video and it's facing you, all right? The next thing I need to do is set up the device on which I'm going to play either the click track or the learning tracks. Now for this virtual chorus, I'm singing The Voice of Harmony, which is an ad-lib song, so I'm going to need the actual learning tracks, and I'm going to sing along with those tracks in my ear. So for right now, I'm going to be using my desktop computer to play the tracks. So I'm going to take my earbuds as they hit the floor. I'm going to plug it into my computer And I'm going to turn the volume on my computer down so I can only hear the recording in my earbuds. Again, you don't want your recording device to pick up anything that's going on playing in your ear. You only want it to pick up your voice. All right, so the volume on my computer is down, but I'm going to be able to hear it through my earbud. Now I'm putting an earbud in one ear only, and there is a good reason for that. There it is, it's right there. I put only one earbud in because I want to be able to hear the learning tracks or the click track, but I also want to be able to hear myself. Many times when I have the earbuds in both ears, then I try to out-sing the tracks. I start singing too loudly. I can't really hear myself well. So having only one earbud in will really help you kind of regulate what you are doing and also keeping in sync with what's going on in the earbud. So I advise just putting one in. All right, so I'm going to start recording, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record on my phone first. That's going to start recording me. It is perfectly fine. In fact, we recommend having a little bit of buffer time at the beginning and ending of your video. We can trim the videos, no problem. But if I hit record and then immediately start singing, I don't get any of that buffer time, and that makes it harder for us to sync up the videos when we get them for the choir. So give yourself a few seconds at the beginning of the recording and a few seconds at the end of the recording of just some time you looking at the camera and smiling, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit record on my device first. So I'm recording myself. I'm going to give myself a little bit of buffer time, just smiling at the camera. And then I'm going to hit play on the tracks. And then I will start singing along with the tracks and recording myself. I will go through the whole thing, and then again at the end of the recording when the tracks are done, smile, look at the camera for a little bit, and then you can stop recording. Remember to give us that buffer time on either side. All right, so I've just finished my recording for the virtual chorus using my phone and my desktop computer. I can also use my phone, and I can plug in my headphones to my iPad. I can do it with my iPod. I could have my laptop computer and plug that in as well. I can use any of those things because when I'm here recording close up, you're not going to be able to see any of the other stuff I'm looking at or listening at. You're just going to see my face and hear me singing. All right? Now you can also record on your iPad, and it's the same kind of thing. I usually like to have it up on a music stand or something like that. And I'm going to be hitting that. Now you can see, you don't see anything because I haven't reversed the camera yet. I'm going to reverse it so I can see myself. I'm going to make sure it's on video. And then I'm going to do the same thing where I have the tracks or the click track in my ear, I'm singing along, and I'm recording myself. Now, don't be discouraged if you have to record and then delete and record and delete and oh, I got everything right except this one word, or oh, I was out of sync with that. It takes a little while to get a recording that is in sync enough to be a part of a virtual chorus. So give yourself some patience and some time. Don't worry if you have to record over and over again for a little bit. And you know, if you need to wait another day and try it again, that's fine as well. It doesn't have to be perfect at all, but it does need to be in sync, and it needs to have kind of the same flavor as the learning tracks, or if you're singing with a click track, it really needs to be in line with that click track. Because keep in mind, we are trying to sync up videos from many, many people, and we want it to be as in sync and as unified as it possibly can be. Make sure you practice a lot with the learning tracks if it's ad lib, and make sure you practice a lot with the click track if it's not before you start recording, and that will set you up for success as well. Okay, you have created your video, you've listened to it, you love it, you're ready to send it in for the virtual choir. Now, most organizations who are holding a virtual choir will have specific parameters on what kind of format they need for your video and how to send it in, sometimes how to name your video so that it follows a certain framework. Make sure you read those directions carefully so you know exactly what to do to submit your video correctly to the virtual choir. Now, of course, as I said before, I like to do videos on my phone. So I'm going on, this is my Android phone, by the way, not an iPhone. I went to my camera, I'm clicking on my little gallery, and I see the video that I really liked. I feel like I did a good job on it. And I'm going to click on this little icon right here, the 3 dots, and it's going to allow me to share that video however I want. Now, I like to share my video with myself because I feel much more comfortable on my desktop computer when I want to rename something, when I want to have access to it right away, when I want to make sure the format is correct. So a lot of times I'll go onto my phone videos and I'll put it in my Dropbox so I have access to it from my desktop computer. You can also put it on your Google Drive. You can email it to yourself. Just get it to a device where you feel really comfortable working with that file, where you can see it and rename it and check the format and make sure everything is the way it should be before you send it in. Same thing with your Apple products. This is my iPad, of course. I have my little camera here. There's my gallery. I'm going to click on the video that I like. Yes. And then at the top, there's actually a little box with an arrow pointing straight up. If I click on that, I can share my own video with myself, again, via Dropbox or Google Drive or whatever I want to do. And then I can put it in a place where I feel comfortable working with that video before I send it in. So make sure you do that and that you have a place where you can really make sure that video is exactly the right format and get it ready to send in for the virtual choir. I hope you found this video helpful. The main things to remember are use equipment with which you're the most comfortable. Make sure you use the tools that are given to you by the organization who is holding the virtual choir. So if they give you learning tracks to sing along with, please sing along with those or with the click track. No matter how well you know the song, don't try to freestyle it because we all need to stay in sync and unity for the virtual choir. Make sure you put it in a place, after you finish your video, you put it in a place where you're comfortable working with it and renaming it and sending it. And make sure you read all the directions for the virtual choir so you know exactly what you need to do. And finally, don't be afraid to ask questions. Technology can be difficult sometimes or just not work the way we want it to work. So don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions and get help if you need it. And I hope you really, really enjoy your virtual choir experience. Whether this is your first one or your 10th one, it is so fulfilling to connect with people through music, no matter how far away they are from you. Enjoy.